modern day guys at my position.
When my name come up, respect it. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna right on it.
And he's bringing it off to Fred looking for the comeback. He's got room on little 10. Fred's there. He's at the 20. Fred's on the run to the 25 and the 30. He's going 40. Fred 50. Fred 40. Fred 30. Fred 25, 20.
Y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
You look at the guys that are in the Hall of Fame from a defensive standpoint. Ray Lewis, Derrick Brooks. Look at all these other guys they're trying to put in the Hall of Fame.
Gerard on the give. Here's Taylor.
Put some respect.
Busting through. Fred Taylor making a cut. Taylor is gone. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
These the same dudes that I murked every Sunday.
When my name come up, respect it. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna right on it.
But he knows he doesn't have a big play team, and Jacksonville does.
Draw play. Taylor skips 2 tackles. Right, and here we go.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Brock Marion chasing. Brock Marion still chasing. Gets help from Smith. Touchdown. No flags. A 90-yard run.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
Oh, I will never get tired of the just kind of accepting what it is. Yep. As soon as he starts that run after saying they got a big play team, they don't have a big play team and Jacksonville does, well, there goes Freddie T, right? And that's kind of how a lot of things went for most of the time in 1999. It didn't end the way we wanted it to end for that Jaguars team. I think Dempsey was upset that I got to do a remote yesterday. Is how this whole thing went. So he was like, that's it. I'm doing it from the house. One day later, how was the 2-day vacay, my friend?
Well, it was a pseudo vacay. You know, a lot of times we say we're on assignment.
Yeah.
I'll just put it this way. I'm not supposed to be driving a car today, all right? And so it wasn't exactly.
So you really enjoyed the 2 days off.
And that had nothing to do with anything, any legalities or anything like that, right? Just so I'm happy to be with you. Will someone please just tap Brock Marion on the shoulder and tell him it's time to quit? Just give up. You're never going to catch him, Brock. He's still chasing to this moment in his dreams, I'm sure. Freddie T going a ways to go. And, Tony, as I sit here and you and I enjoy the technology that is called Zoom.
Me for my cave.
Can we take up a collection to get a light bulb in the studio, my man? Because, I mean, we haven't quite figured out the lighting yet. You're backlit right now, and you look very mysterious to me in the Zoom.
Well, it is spooky season.
This is true.
You know, tomorrow is Halloween, so maybe I'm just in a festive mood.
Now, Friday's Halloween, man. Don't get ahead of yourself. don't wish your life away. Do you have a full thing, a big rack of full-size candy bars ready to go?
We have the full-size candy bars. I couldn't believe when we bought them this year. I was like, none of us are going to be here. I'm going to be in Lake City for the Bulls game. My roommate's going to be over in Orange Park somewhere. He came in with the candy. He was like, we got it again this year. I was like, for who? Like, nobody's here. We could just leave it on the porch, I guess. Yeah, I mean,
that's the adult trick, Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, welcome to adulthood. You've been here for a while, I thought, but, you buy what you like. And then, oh, darn it, kids didn't come around again. What a shocker. I'm going to have to go into this sampler bag of Kit Kats and Reese's and all that good stuff.
We seem to be doing it every year at my house. The way it goes. Coach Cohen, I think, said it about as emphatically as he could when he was talking on Monday when he was asked about the Brian Thomas Jr. thing, or he was just asked about Brian Thomas Jr., and he put it out there, we have no interest in trading Brian Thomas Jr., right? But that noise was out there over the weekend that maybe some teams were interested, maybe the Jaguars were interested, all these different kind of what was your kind of reaction to all the Brian Thomas Jr. noise going on over the weekend?
That's a great opportunity to set up young Dylan, to set up old Dempsey with a 10-10 take here. I think that's a fantastic spot to do that right now. And I'm saying a lot of words to give him the opportunity to fire it right now.
Come on, man. I'm ready. Let's roll.
Let's go.
10-10 take. Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take.
Brightened by First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
All right, welcome to First Coast Paint, new sponsor of the 10-10 take this week and going forward, so we're happy to have them on board. Tony, I've been waiting for 2 days to kind of talk about this, right? And Liam Cohen, and I'm not trying to get crazy on the semantics, but he didn't say we don't have any interest. He said we have no intention at all. We hear that from time to time. Hey, intentions can change. I'm not suggesting the Jags are trying to lie to you. They're not, right? But anybody knows you come in. If somebody says 3 first-round picks for Brian Thomas, he's gone, right? So you're not intending to do that. But if somebody is going to blow you away with an offer for one of your players, there are a few untouchables in the National Football League, right? So as far as that goes, that being said, I hope that doesn't happen. I have a great fear. We've seen guys that have come to Jacksonville and not fulfilled the promise immediately and then get shipped off somewhere else for whatever reason, impatience, not a scheme fit, whatever, and they flourish in other locales. Well, here's a guy who has shown us that he can play at a really high level. And do they need to tweak maybe their vision of how they can use him? Do they have to use him on more selective routes? Don't cross him over the middle as much. There are wide receivers like that in the National Football League. Maybe he's not going to be Jamar Chase that runs every route to the same high level with the same success rate. But, man, I do not want to see this young potential star go away. This is the guy we were the most excited about just a couple of months ago on this entire team based on what he had done as a rookie. So I do believe that the way that was reported, hey, the Jags are going to listen to calls. Everyone listens to calls on just about everybody, unless you call Andy Reid and go, hey, about Mahomes, click, right? There are very few sacred cows when it comes to that. There's probably, a dozen quarterbacks and maybe 10 other players in the league that you wouldn't take a call on. So I understand that. I just hope it doesn't happen because we've got a young guy. We need to have this coaching staff figure out how to get the best out of him, not what can we get pennies on the dollar because he's not performing like we expected him to.
I tend to agree with you. We'll see if that's the way it works out. Obviously, a disappointing first 7 games in 2025 for Brian Thomas Jr. Hopefully, everyone involved can figure out how to get him out of whatever funk is going on with him so far this season. The Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day today, asking everyone out there to predict Travis Hunter's catches, yards, and touchdowns to end this season. He has 28 for 298 and 1 touchdown in the first 7 weeks. His 28 receptions lead the team by 1. He's about 50 yards behind Brian Thomas Jr. in the receiving yardage category, so he's already among, the top guys right there. And I think a lot of people, if they were going to answer the question right now, would say that they think Hunter would probably be the more productive wide receiver for the last 10 games of the year. But what exactly does that look like? We want to hear a little bit from Liam Cohen on Monday as well. Some of the things he said, including what we were just talking about with the BTJ thing and Travis Hunter, exactly what might or could change with the way that they want to use Travis Hunter as they do come out of the bye week this week. We'll hear some of that on the other side as well as we get things rolling here on a Wednesday edition of Jaguars Today. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. John Oehser will join us for the second hour of the program. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
4th down and 11, game on the line.
11 guys line up, but only one will end up the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
And there he goes.
On 1010XL.
Your home deserves more than just another coat of paint. It deserves quality that lasts. At First Coast Paint, you'll find premium Benjamin Moore products, trusted advice, and the local experts who help you get it right the first time. Whether it's your living room, your porch, or your whole house, First Coast Paint brings your paint project to life. Stores in St. John's and St. Augustine. One name Jacksonville trusts. Mention 1010XL for 10% off. First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out. You need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Now is the right time to order your holiday decorating from Kuhn Flowers. This is ET with 1010XL, and Kuhn Flowers will do your holiday tree decorating, including all of your lights. Wow. So call Kuhn Flowers today. They'll do it all this fall.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
It's your boy, Big Sirs, All-Pro lineman and lemon pepper guy. Nothing screams game day like Wingstop. But get this, every Saturday and Sunday this football season, score big with Wingstop specials. Order a 15-piece wing pack online at wingstop.com or Wingstop app using promo code JAX10 and get $10 off. That's right, carry out or delivery. It's your call. Use online promo code JAX10 for $10 off at 50-piece wing pack. Fire up your game day order this weekend with Wingstop.
After an accident, you may have an x-ray that looks normal, but you're still in pain. That's because soft tissue injuries like sprains and tears don't show up on x-rays. And if an insurance company doesn't see it, they may not believe you're hurt.
When they don't take your pain seriously, we fight back. We know doctors who are experts in diagnosing soft tissue injuries. They can help us prove that your pain is real, and we'll seek to get you paid for all of your future medical expenses.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned. Whether you're sitting or standing, if you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jax, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. Want to get into a little bit of what we heard from head coach Liam Cohen on Monday in a moment. But first, Dempsey, want to ask you, not only did we open the show by asking you to react to all the Brian Thomas Jr. madness over the weekend, right? But on Monday, our question of the day was, to this point, through 7 games in the season, just give us your list of who have been the Jaguars' 5 best players to this point on the year. So if you were going to put together your own list, who would your 5 best players for the Jags be to this point?
All right, this is off the top of my head. By the way, great job on closing the blinds. You look fantastic.
I can't believe they're ever open.
You look fantastic now. Now everyone who's streaming on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook is enjoying how handsome you are today.
Oh, thank you.
All right, who have been the 5 best players for the Jags? Devin Lloyd, and I know he's missed a couple, but that's how good he has been playing. I'm going to say Ezra Cleveland. And this is not necessarily in order because you're kind of asking me off the top of my head here. Boy, this is sad. I'm going to say Brenton Strange. It's sad because two of the first 3 are hurt, right? That's why it's sad.
It might explain the last couple of weeks to some degree, but yeah.
Gosh, I'd love to say Trayvon, and it might be him if the hand were better, but have a hard time putting
three
him
of the
there.
5 are going to be hurt. Yeah.
I feel like, up until about 2 weeks ago, I'd easily put Travis Etienne in this category, and I'll put him on the short list here.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're, a lot of, for me, Ezra, who do you think has been the best offensive lineman? Because I don't think everyone's going to say Ezra when it comes to that. I think consistently, though, he's been the guy that I've had the fewest disappointments with, the fewest blown assignments.
Sure.
And, that I don't study offensive line, Tony. We talk about it all the time, but, he has been noticeable at times to me, and what a great job he's done. And part of it is because he's probably exceeded expectations simply because we thought he'd be the most replaceable offensive lineman coming into the season. Who do you think has been the best?
Best among the offensive linemen, I'd probably vote Anton.
Okay.
Right? Like, even in the last couple of weeks when they've been giving up a bunch of sacks, I don't see a lot of it coming from his side of it. Right? That doesn't mean that he's been great.
Yeah,
but somebody's been having a really bad couple of weeks for it to have been what it's been the last 2 weeks.
You could put Anton in there if you want to do that. I look at Jordan Lewis and man, got off to a hot start. It's really kind of cooled off the last few weeks. Hasn't done. Same with Eric Murray. Hot start. Dewey has been not playing well of late. So it's tough when you've got that situation. It's easier for Brenton Strange and Devin Lloyd. You just presume they're going to continue to play at that high level.
Yeah.
And maybe they wouldn't have. Man, I might just put Etienne in there kind of by default. I think Travis Hunter's had his moments, but I don't think through any fault of his own, they haven't quite fully unlocked him to this point. So I'm not – I want to set a higher bar for Travis Hunter. You know what I mean? I have high expectations for how well he's going to play. And I'm not saying it's his own fault if he's not getting the reps to make as big an impact, say, on defense or whatever the case. But I do expect more from Travis Hunter, and I could see him definitely being one of the 5 best in the second half of the season. I don't know if I've got him there now. So I'll say Lloyd, Cleveland, Strange, Anton. Am I forgetting? I don't feel like Foye has been, anything. He's been okay. He's been like Foye, maybe not as impactful after the first couple of games, making tackles, but no splash plays. I don't know. I'd probably put Etienne in the 5th spot, just kind of by default. Who do you have?
Etienne got a little bit of love in that regard. I think I had Jordan Lewis in there. Devin Lloyd for sure. Devin Lloyd's the only one who's getting any kind of serious all-pro conversation before he had the injury a couple weeks ago, right? So he's playing among the best players at his position in the entire league.
Yeah, easiest guy to put on this list.
Right. I had Josh Hines-Allen on my list because I do think the pressure numbers early on. But again, it's kind of a weird space when you get to even the bottom 2 or 3 spots on this top 5 list, because you're having to figure out, where do I put in the guys that have been dealing with injuries? I still had Devin Lloyd at the top of my list. I still had Brenton Strange on my list, right? Because he was playing well enough when he was healthy enough to play to have earned that kind of thing. So I think Josh Hines-Allen would be the other name that you hadn't mentioned that I had on mine.
Yeah, and
but
get
again,
it.
It's like I put him there, and it's like, well, it's kind of, who else do I want to put here?
Yeah,
look,
I'm sorry, man. I understand pressures are great. And who's helping him? Well, who helped Myles Garrett this week?
Right.
Who went out? And I'm not saying, is he Myles Garrett? No. But my man had 5 sacks. And who's the starting defensive end opposite Myles Garrett? I'm challenging you right now without peeking. Who is it?
Will Campbell.
Will Campbell.
I think that's the guy that was trying to block him.
Yeah. That's a good. Alex Wright. I'll save you the time and effort. Alex, nobody knows who that is, right? And Max Crosby, who's he had? You got to make plays. You got to get the quarterback on the ground. And I'm not saying Josh isn't giving everything he has. I know he plays that way. But, man, I need to see more results. And pressures are good. Sacks are better. And the truly elite pass rushers get them in almost regardless of the circumstance. Cleveland was losing this whole game with no help, and he's out there getting 5 sacks. Come on.
Yeah. Look, and again, it wasn't like I was even putting him on the list. I wasn't like, yeah, Josh. It was like,
I know.
It was like, oh, Josh.
Right? It's, for the people, there are people that say, oh, you can't criticize Josh Allen. You don't understand. You don't know ball. They got a lot of pressures. That led to a lot of the early turnovers. I'm not saying that that's not true. What's better is you hit the quarterback and you knock the ball out directly and scoop and score those, or just stop drives. And the ball comes out, there's a chance for a positive play to be made as well.
Well,
when you get
at some
pressure.
point, you just have to look at the reality of the last 2 weeks, right? Trayvon has the injury. That's obviously limiting what he can do. On the other side of Josh Hines-Allen, and all the pressure for the entire team is gone. It evaporates.
Right.
Right, with just Trayvon not being at full health on the other side of Josh. Now, Josh is still 2 or 3 times a game here in the last couple of weeks. He's the only one doing it, but he's getting 2 or 3 times a week. And before that, it was 6, 7, 8 times. He's at least affecting a play for the football team. So I can understand, and I defend to some degree, right? Josh Hines-Allen does deserve credit for the plays that he's still making with all the other stuff going on, but that doesn't make him elite. Right, and I don't think it's unfair to look at what the elite pass rushers in the league do when they don't have anything on the other side of them and what Josh has been doing for the last couple. It doesn't mean that Josh isn't a good player.
He's a very good player.
Right, it just means we all want more from Josh Hines-Allen. And I think it kind of speaks to where we're at with that list where I can consider a guy like Josh Hines-Allen. It's because of what they're getting at a bunch of different spots. And that's with us putting the 2 hurt guys on the list.
Right.
Right? Like, it's just where they've been the last couple of weeks. Hopefully they're going to be healthy enough for all these things to not be the kind of issue that they've been through especially the last 2 weeks of the season.
Look, and everybody deals with injuries, right? I mean, look, the Rams were without Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
I mean, guy was arguably the best receiver in football up until he got hurt. So it's no excuse, but it'd be nice, Tony, if 2 of the first 3 names out of my mouth weren't guys who have not been available to the team, not through no fault of their own. It's just the circumstance. I mean, if you could add Devin Lloyd and Brenton Strange both back in and have them at full health, maybe they win against Seattle. It was only an 8-point game. You know what I mean? I mean, that you can't tell me that having 2 of your best players out couldn't make a difference. Now, Seattle was decimated by injuries too, so that we could play that game. What if we had Devin Witherspoon? What if we had, Reek Woolen? What if we had Julian Love? And they didn't have any of them. So it's not an excuse. It's just a bit of a disappointing reality, and hopefully they'll be back as soon as possible.
And the other name that would get mentioned a little bit on Monday when we were going through it, and I think, again, it speaks to where they're at the bottom of this list of just 5 at this point, was Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Parker's
of what he
had
gives
some
them.
drops, but he's also made some really good plays.
Yeah. And the return man thing, look, I think he's got to, if he has another punt return for a touchdown this year, then I think he has the chance to make a Pro Bowl or get some of the love, in that regard for that specific position. I don't think it's going to come as a wide receiver for Parker Washington, but when we're talking about the top 5 players on a team through the first 7 games where they won 4 of them, right? Like, it's not like they're just limping through the season. They won 4 of those 7 games, and we're like, who are the 5? And we go through that, and we don't mention the quarterback or the wide receiver we all thought was the best player on the roster going into the season.
Or the guy they drafted to eventually be the best player on the roster, right? So imagine a second half of the season, final 10 games, where among the 7 strongest candidates for the top 5 players on the Jags are Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas, Josh Hines-Allen, Travis Hunter, and honestly, name your 5th. If you tell me those 4 guys are among the 5 best playing Jaguars, and I'd love to throw Trayvon in there.
Yeah.
You can throw anybody else in at that point in time. When your best players play their best, it's a pretty simple formula. You're going to win more games under that setup than anything else. So let's hope that is what we're going to get. I doubt that we'll get that across the board with all of those guys, but it starts against Vegas on Sunday. Let's go.
Yeah, no doubt, as they do come out of the bye with the road trip against the Las Vegas Raiders coming up this week. Our question of the day asking you to give us where you think the numbers will wind up for Travis Hunter when he gets to the end of his rookie season here. He is leading the team in receptions now after a couple of hot weeks. In that regard here, we'll see if his role is going to expand. I think we all expect that it will with some of the issues they're dealing with in other spots in the wide receiver core specifically. We'll hear a little bit from Coach Cohen from what he had to say on Monday as well. He's actually scheduled to speak with the media around right now, I think. So we may be able to get you a cut or two from Coach Cohen as he's speaking to the media here, getting ready for the Raiders game this coming up weekend. Again, John Ogier will join us in the second hour of the program. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Don't ghost your carpet this fall. Hicken here. Right now, you can get your entire home zero-resified from Jacksonville's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus a free haul for Halloween. Get it? There's something scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home. It's in your air ducts. This month, take 50% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in Duval!
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer. I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Underwood has completed 75 years in business, and now you are starting your next 75 years. If you were going to simplify things, what is the single most important thing in Underwood's history, and what will be the most important thing in your future?
Frank, that's simple. Our honesty and integrity. You know, our founder, H.F. Underwood's favorite saying was, know the truth and tell the truth. That's why we're the longest-standing member of the American Gem Society in Florida. Because we know you have to have the knowledge about gemstones before you can tell the truth about them. That's why we continue to educate our staff through the Gemological Institute of America and the American Gem Society. In fact, today, Underwoods has the largest American Gem Society credentialed staff of professionals east of the Mississippi River. So come by and see why we're looking forward to the next 75 years and let one of our experts assist you.
That's at Underwoods, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. It is Jaguars Today. Johnny O will join us for the second hour of the program. Coach Cohen should be meeting with the media any minute now. Let's listen to a little bit, though, of what he had to say on Monday when he was coming out of the bye week weekend, speaking to the media for the first time this week and hitting on a bunch of topics that we've already hit on a little bit so far this morning, starting with where he's at with Brian Thomas Jr. And head coach Liam Cohen said Monday that he's optimistic as we go into the final 10 games of the season for what was expected to be his star wideout.
Yeah, I am very optimistic. We have no plans on moving Brian Thomas Jr. At all. Saw something about that over the weekend. I talked to him for a good amount of time this morning, and it's just a good reset for a lot of these guys to come in fresh, 4-3 with everything ahead of us. Regardless, good, bad, or indifferent, what's happened in the first 7 games, we all have an opportunity to write a narrative. We own the narrative, and so I got a lot of confidence in him. I really do believe that we can turn the corner and get better in the pass game that way.
Hope he's right. Mm-hmm. I mean, the talent's in there. They found a way last year. You could say, Mac Jones was force-feeding him the ball. He was getting it to him. Okay. He was catching it. He had 1,200-plus yards. He scored 10 touchdowns. Somehow this all happened, Tone.
Yeah.
Maybe use him to stretch the field a little bit more, And I know they've tried, and I understand that Brian Thomas has dropped the ball more than any receiver in the league, basically, so far through the first 7 games. But I think the talent's still in there. It didn't completely disappear in one off season. I don't know what's going. Hopefully the bye week. He needs a reset as much as anybody on this roster, but he still is potentially one of the handful of best players and biggest weapons that this team has, and they're going to need him in the second half.
It's undoubted that they're going to need him here in the second half. He's got 10 more targets and 1 more catch than Travis Hunter at this point on the season, right? And it gives you an idea of exactly they've actually. If Brian Thomas Jr. just held on to the ball when it hit him in the hands, that we wouldn't be having these questions about who's going to be the lead guy for him for the last 10 games. It's like, well, how big can the role for Travis Hunter get? Right? Those would be the kind of questions we'd be asking. But the drop issues that Brian Thomas Jr. is having, it opens up a lot of questions that we didn't think we'd have to be asking maybe at any point in his career, but certainly not 7 games into year 2 after what we saw him do his rookie season.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, with Travis Hunter in terms of catching the football, he's had a lot. He's made some difficult catches. We've seen them, the acrobatic ones and things like that. And we've seen the great quickness after the catch. But a high percentage of what he's done is right there at the line of scrimmage, a little quick screens, just get the ball in his hands and let him run. So those are the kind of things you expect him to haul in. Liam Cohen asked about that as a follow-up to Brian Thomas Jr., and his optimism there is, what about Travis Hunter and how you can best utilize him now going forward in 2025?
The end of the last game against the Rams with he and Trevor building on a connection and making some plays towards the end of the game. Obviously, it was a little out of reach at the time, but you're still seeing competitive throws and catches in live action, which is something we've needed. So, you definitely look at how much more can he handle, how much more can we put him in a position to be successful on both offense and defense, and what does that look like? So it definitely gave us an opportunity as a staff to look at how we can continue to use him.
Look, the role almost by necessity is going to have to expand, right? Because it does appear at this point, Demps, that he's their best wide receiver and probably their best corner. So how do you get him on the field so that you can take advantage of what might be your best player at both of those spots, right? The only thing that's going to limit him is when he needs to tap the helmet. It would feel like to me at this point, but again, none of us are making these decisions. These are things, as Coach Cohen is talking about there, they got to figure out exactly what that's going to look like.
Right. And, look, in terms of Travis Hunter's production on the opportunities he's had this year, if Trevor hits him like the opener, deep ball, it's there, long touchdown, we're talking about, different story. Of course, the pass breakup against Cincinnati to seal the victory for the undefeated Jaguars at the time would have been a headline. Trevor short-armed it to him in the end zone or underthrew it to him in the end zone as well where he had his man beat. So he could have a couple more, maybe 3 more touchdowns, some bigger plays on defense if it were called, at least that one bigger if it were called properly. So he's already made an impact. It's only going to grow, Tone. And part of it, too, is exacerbated by De'Ami Brown's. He kind of is what he's been throughout his whole career. Occasionally he'll pop up, make a nice play for you. There's some inconsistency there as well. And look, as much as we love Parker Washington, we love all these guys. We want them all to succeed. Well, Parker's had his issues with drops as well. So that's something that mentally needs to get out of the picture across the board in that wide receiver room.
Coach Cohen on Monday also talked about the contrast in the last couple of weeks, comparing it to earlier in the season when they were able to start a little bit faster offensively in some of these games, and it created some more advantageous situations for them going deeper into these games. But he said it's something that hadn't showed up in the last couple of weeks and definitely something they want to get back to.
Absolutely. We looked at that as well as, the starting fast element, and games that we've started fast on offense, we've been able to, I don't want to say control the game, but just have a better feel early, gets our guys in a rhythm early, gets the quarterback confidence early. So we're looking at how can we kind of tweak, practice later in the week a little bit to say, all right, hey, these are the openers, guys, on Friday. Maybe get it to them a little bit early or whatever it is so that, hey, they have a little bit better idea of what's going to get called earlier in the game and try to get some of those things repped on Fridays.
Here's an idea, Tony. Do a better job winning the coin toss so we can defer to the second half. Honestly, I love it so much more when you start out on defense, right? Because we're not pick the greatest show on turf in their prime, right? We're not that. We hope to be one day. You can't just snap your fingers and make it so. Defense has been better overall to me in terms of a unit that I would trust, at least early on, see how it goes. I mean, every team wants to do that for the most part.
Well, and I think even beyond that, a lot of conversations here in the last couple of weeks that we've had about identity, right, for this football team. And it feels like a team that doesn't have one, not a special one right now. It feels like they want to be a team that's going to run the ball, right? Like they want to be a team that's going to control the line of scrimmage. Well, those teams, I don't think they're the teams that need to take the opening kick, right? Like if you're going to be the team that's going to control the game with your line of scrimmage and what you do along the offensive line, your run game, what difference does it make if you get the ball first or second, right? In a football, like I just don't think their identity is, the type of offense that we're talking about here with, the Rams and these different teams from NFL history. I think they are more the bloody nose kind of team. I don't know that kind of team needs to be the team that takes the ball to open up the game to kind of set the tempo. Hopefully you can set it with, get a stop on defense. And something they did well early.
Right, I'll argue against myself. Whatever you do, if it's successful on the opening drive, if you take the ball and you go down and score, it was the right decision, right? I just think the odds favor you, at least starting off with the opportunity to maybe pin the team inside the 35, which is now the new normal, and all that, and try to get on the field after one unsuccessful drive by the opponent. We have time for one more here, Tony. Let's take a look at balancing out like you're kind of talking about. They want to run the football. They ran it great early on. They weren't terrible, the final numbers against the Rams, but some of that came late. What about the need to be more consistent running the ball?
Yeah, I got to call more runs in general. When we run the football, we're a little bit more balanced. Anytime you're more balanced, you have the defense on their toes, so it's a matter of, like you said, winning first and second down. You start drives and you have a run, you get a hold in your 1st and 20. Now, I'm probably not going to run it on first, who knows? But you're trying to just look for the balance. And when you're able to run the football, you see around the league all day yesterday, points being scored. And, when you can run the ball and be effective running the football, it's something that we've got to get back to being able to do a little bit more.
There's no doubt that seems to be what they want the identity of the football team to be. It hasn't been there for the last couple of weeks, and you've seen the difference in the way games are being played offensively for the football team when they don't have that kind of thing to rely on. Hopefully that is something that is back in the cards for this football team coming out of the bye. We'll find out as we get ready for the Raiders game coming up this weekend over in Vegas. We'll continue to get you ready for that. Maybe hear a couple more from Liam Cohen before we get done with the show today as well. He's should be meeting with the media any moment now. Is he at the podium now? He is. So we'll let you know anything that he might have to say in regards to the matchup coming up this weekend. Johnny O will join us in the second hour of the program. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. After a bye and a breather, the Jags get ready to rock the desert. It's blackjack, blitzes, and big plays as they roll the dice against the Raiders. Find out who's all in. It's a full house of football. Viva la Jaguars. Sunday at 4 on the home of the Jags, 1010XL.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Jacksonville. It's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified, fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Professional painters know the right finish starts with the right paint. That's why they trust First Coast Paint. Featuring Benjamin Moore paints and expert customer service, First Coast Paint keeps the pros stocked and rolling. No gimmicks, no big box confusion, just top quality Benjamin Moore paint, advice, and the best service in Jacksonville, period. Because real pros don't cut corners, they color them. First Coast Paint, simply superior paint.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 29th, 2003, LeBron James makes his NBA debut, scoring 25 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. It's not just annoying when your toilet keeps running long after you flush, it's also costly because it could waste hundreds of gallons of water a day. A running toilet's often caused by worn-out flappers, corroded valves, or a faulty float. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining will fix the problem fast, which can help lower your water bill. Stop the running and start saving today. Make the superior choice when your toilet won't stop running, and learn more at superiorplumbingjax.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Hey, 1010XL fans, it's game time, but don't get sidelined from the fun. The JTA Game Day Express is the smartest way to get to the bank on time. It's all sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. There are 5 convenient pickup locations across the River City, but remember, Game Day Express is cashless. All passes must be purchased through the MyJTA mobile app. Get your $10 pass today. For all of your game day needs, go to myjtafla.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton has big plans for 2026, renewing the greens plus plenty more. But right now's the time to take advantage of member opportunities before the big renovation. Now until the end of December, you can join and save $1,500 off their initiation fee, plus $500 back in a gift card with a 12-month commitment. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Playability for every skill level and a huge practice area to hone your game. Lock in now and enjoy membership privileges at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back.
So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Rolling along, approaching the halfway point here this morning on this Wednesday edition of Jaguars Today. Coach Cohen speaking this morning. We'll let you know exactly what may be going on with that as we get through it here. Dylan has sent me a couple of things that Coach Cohen had to say. He was asked about the health of the offensive line and if they need changes. He said changes not really necessary, just getting a couple guys feeling a little bit better, getting back to balance. Anytime you are balanced, you typically have an advantage. Dempsey, it doesn't sound like that's a call for Wyatt Milam to get on the field anytime soon. We'll see when that change is going to be made. I don't expect it. Doesn't sound like it's going to happen this week against the Raiders. It'll still be something we're waiting for going into the future, it seems.
It's funny, Tone. We want to trust the coaching staff. New coaching staff, we hated the old ways, right? Every time there's change, we want to put all our trust into the new regime and what they're going to do. Well, part of that is they're out there every single day, and we can go, we need to get Wyatt Milam in there. Well, they're seeing Wyatt Milam. They're seeing Patrick McCary, and they're seeing Ezra Cleveland, and all these guys in the different positions that you would think Milam could challenge for playing time at. And I don't want to see them just change to make change, and I don't want to see them go, well, we drafted this guy. We've got to get him on the field. Play your best five. If you think right now that the five that have been starting this year are that, we should – I mean, Liam Cohen's won as many games as the head coach as Doug Peterson did all last year. We should give him some benefit of the doubt. I don't think I look at Liam Cohen and go, man, this guy has made these boneheaded errors. So, you know, if he deems that that's the best thing and they have been a little bit banged up, getting back to health, that's still the best unit. I mean, they were leading the league in rushing for a few weeks early on and giving Trevor Lawrence the best protection of any quarterback in the league. And granted, some of that is matchup based, but nevertheless, you would have taken that against any teams on any stretch of the Jaguars schedule. So I'm going to put my faith that Liam Cohen knows exactly what he's talking about here.
I think it's okay to accept the reality of the National Football League that at some point odds are one of your offensive linemen are going to go down.
Yes.
Right? And Wyatt Milam will likely be the guy that steps in. You know, depends on the position. I don't think it would be at center.
I think if Walker Little went down, it would be Cole Van Lannon, Tone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I'm hoping that once Milam gets in, he just makes it impossible to take him out. You know, we're this excited. I mean, when's the last time we were this excited about a third-round guard who hasn't played a snap yet, right? But he does have that attitude and that moxie that you look for. He wants to road grade people, and we could use a little of that.
Yeah, it's the way that he was being discussed going through training camp, right? Like the draft stuff was fun, him talking about nobody touches my quarterback, right, and has the stats on that kind of thing, and we all want that attitude to be added to what they're doing on the field. Right?
Correct.
There's a lot of people that are desperate for that kind of thing to be added to the football field. Well, let's see what that looks like. The don't touch my guy kind of attitude thing. That's the thing that everyone's waiting for him to see. And, you know, we hear from Leon here in the building, going out to training camp every day. We hear from Logs when he's in with us on Tuesdays. These are, you know, Leon said he thought Milam would be their best offensive lineman when we got to the end of 2025. Right, like that's the way he felt about him. We still hear everyone that was out at camp for all those practices, all those days saying, I thought he was one of their 5 best offensive linemen. Well, he got hurt, right? And so other guys are going to play. How easy or difficult is it to just throw a guy into it? What I'm trying to kind of preach is the patience on it, that at some point somebody's going to get hurt and odds are Milam's going to find the field.
Yeah.
Right? And when he gets on the field, I think we all have a level of expectation for what that's going to look like. As long as it doesn't result in specifically like Trevor Lawrence getting hurt right? Like that kind of thing, which I don't even know how much you'd be able to tell. Well, if Wyatt was playing, like that's a little bit silly, right? Like when you get to those kind of things. But I'm okay with a guy that was hurt and is coming back from an injury that hadn't played in the NFL yet, just biding your time and saying, when it's time, it's time. We'll get him on the field when it's time to get him on the field.
That being said, when it's time, I expect him to play well.
I do
right?
too.
There's none of this. I feel like sometimes people want to make it too complicated, right? Oh, we gotta have this cohesiveness. Then you see a lineman go down,
right,
or a multiple lineman go down in the middle of the game. You know the guys who are coming in didn't get any kind of significant reps throughout the week, not with the first team offense, and they oftentimes come in and you don't even notice a fall off whatsoever. So I mean, sometimes you just got to play. Just go out there and play and figure it out. What if you did have a couple of injuries? Then you don't have the luxury of waiting for the perfect moment. He'll get on the field at some point this season, I'm sure, likely because of what you're talking about. Attrition is a real thing in the National Football League.
Yeah, and I can understand the anxiousness from everybody. I'm included in that group. I want to see Wyatt play. Right, like I want to see him on the field. Like if he really is one of the best five, I want to see him on the field. I want him to start taking the steps on the field to becoming one of those guys for this football team. But I'm okay given the circumstance with it not having happened yet. Like I don't know if he would have started if he had stayed healthy throughout training camp in the preseason. He might have been a starter. Right, when we got to the beginning of this, we just don't know what the answer to that would have been, unfortunately, because he did get hurt, and we've been waiting all this time for it to happen for him. But I think it's going to happen, and it doesn't have to be forced on anyone. It's a natural part of the NFL. At some point, he's going to get an opportunity to play, and hopefully he's going to be in a position to take advantage of it.
And it wasn't an issue until it was an issue when Trevor Lawrence started getting pounded in the pocket, right? The last couple weeks. The 17 hits against Seattle, 7 more sacks.
Yep. I think we lost him for a second there. That's all right. We'll get back out to Dempsey when we return here in just a moment. Johnny O going to join us in the second hour of the program this morning as well. He's actually standing in the studio staring at me, just waiting to take a seat, find a chair for Johnny O. We'll welcome him in when we return. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
4th and goal at the 1. They set up in the eye.
When you add up the moments and break down the best,
It's a hostile environment.
you're left with a performance painting high-performance play of the game.
Up in the air, it is caught!
On 1010XL.
What is the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth? The answer next.
There's always a good reason to compare homeowners' insurance rates. You may be paying too much. Protect your home with a Southern Oak insurance policy today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The coldest temperature ever recorded was in Antarctica in July of 1983. An unbelievably cold minus 128.6 degrees.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday.
On Jaguars Today.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's Hot Takes on Hot Wheels. I'm Lauren Brooks. Let's cruise through the day's biggest sports stories from my unique point of view. Buckle up for Lauren's Lane. Driven by Mazda at the Avenues, 2 to 4 weekdays on 1010XL.
Bueller.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask? So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Tired of roofers who never answer the phone and just use AI?
I'm Morgan Conley, the People's Roofer. I answer every call. No robots, no runaround. I'm born here, built here, staying here. Visit morganconleyroofing.org.
If you're making plans to see our home team in Nashville against the Titans in November, go to 1010XL.com and click the Omni Nashville banner for the 1010XL special rate, only for 1010XL listeners. That's the Omni Nashville banner on the 1010XL website.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until October 31st. 18-month financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. Week 4 of the fall baseball season will see the Florida Gators tune up with a pair of inter-squad scrimmages leading up to an exhibition game against the JU Dolphins right here in Jacksonville on October 31st. First pitch for the Halloween matchup between Florida and Jacksonville is set for 6:30 p.m. at VyStar Ballpark, with gates open to the public at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are currently on sale now. Right now, 63 degrees at 11:01. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Osher. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Demps, we're having a moment here in the studio. I wish you were here for it. I just watched John Osher pull out his own headphones. Like, I just watched it happen. He's wearing them now.
Yeah, it's evidently been a topic.
Yeah.
It hurts me that you would lie to me like that on a day when I'm not there to visually confirm these spurious accounts.
I watched it. He tried 2 different headsets and found the one that worked. He brought 2 different headsets.
Yeah, it's been shared in the last couple of weeks. This was an issue, which for 10 years I never knew was an issue. So
Really?
once I knew it was an issue, I was...
Like, literally every show John has done for over a decade, it has been an issue. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's never been spoken to me. It's
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, it is.
Now John's just blatantly lying to you. Your most trusted Jaguar reporter is now blatantly
it was addressed
telling
a couple
lies.
of weeks ago, and it's now addressed. So I'll.
He's wearing his own headphones. I can tell
I'm
you
happy
that.
for him.
Yeah.
I hope he can hear me doubting his sincerity in those new headphones.
I couldn't be more sincere.
Excellent.
Johnny O, what'd you do with your bye week, my friend?
I went and solved this headphone
Oh,
issue,
there you
evidently.
go.
So,
He got put to work.
No, I went to North Carolina for a couple of days and kept tabs on the Jags a little bit, and now back and ready to go.
Yeah, hopefully they're going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's a weird kind of
Big game.
feeling
Big game.
around it. No doubt. It does feel like a game that really propels you into, the back half of the season. It's hard not to call it the back half when you had the bye week this far into the thing,
Sure.
right? Like it's only 7
It
games
feels like
in.
second half.
Right. You got 10 games left, but it really does feel like the back half of the season. And it's an opponent that you should beat. Well, there's no reason not to beat Las Vegas, even with it being a game on the road. And the last 10 games of the schedule, the Colts are better than we probably expected them to be, right? But it wouldn't have been a surprise going into the season if they had split with the Colts, right? Win here, lose at Indianapolis. And I can understand still having that kind of expectation for the football team, right? So from that perspective, I don't know how much tougher the last 10 games on the schedule got based on anything you saw at the beginning of the season here. So if you thought they were going to be a team that could make up ground in the second half of the season, well, it's still all out there in front of them, but that has to, it necessarily has to start with handling the Las Vegas Raiders this week.
Yeah, and you had 2 tough games before the bye that if you look at on paper, you say, okay, I thought those were two of the quietly toughest games on the schedule that maybe people didn't think about coming in, Seattle and LA. Everybody talked about San Francisco, Kansas City, that stretch. But this on paper is one you should get. If you win it, you're 5-3, and you feel like you're still in a position to reel the Colts in. As you said, it's been easy for the last couple weeks to say, you got them twice in December, you can get them. Well, you got to win some games because they're winning games. And if you're 4 back, you're not going to be able to get them. So at some point, you got to be able to win those games. I think this is a tough game because you're on the road. The Raiders, you're not yet at the stage of the season where teams sort of go in the tank if they have a bad record. They're still playing for a first-year head coach. They'll be motivated. I don't think they expect this to be a regime change at the end of the season, so players are still going to be bought in. I think it's going to be a tough game in the fourth quarter because the Jaguars so far, except for Carolina, haven't shown they get away from people. So I think it's going to be a fourth quarter game, and I think it's going to be close.
Will there be any... Given this is a 4-3 Jaguars team, they've lost the last 2, and we've seen the way they've played in the last couple of weeks. So if the offensive line is going to play the way that it's played the last couple of weeks, especially more so 2 weeks ago against Seattle than the Rams, where it did feel like a little bit or maybe a lot of that pressure was on Trevor Lawrence, maybe holding the ball too long in that game over there in London. But if they struggle along the offensive line again this week, and Max Crosby can make you struggle, right?
Sure.
Like there's no doubt about that. But if they struggle in that regard again this week, how much does that change maybe your level of expectation for the football? Like they look like a promising team early in the season in those kind of regards. It's all been kind of put on shaky ground with what they've done the last couple of weeks. How much room is there for them to get back on firm footing against the Raiders in that regard this week?
I think so much of it is, and Liam's emphasized this over and over and over, and I think he's right. So much of it is if you get in bad situations and get out of balance, he's been talking about this, but if you're facing a lot of 2nd and 13, which they've done right off the bang the last couple of weeks, if you're in bad down and distances, you're going to have troubles in offensive line because I don't think this is necessarily a great offensive line. I think it's a good offensive line that can play very well when it's playing well in good situations. To answer your question, the Raiders' defensive line shouldn't be as formidable a task as the last 2. Seattle was maybe as good a defensive line as they'll play. The Rams are very good. You should look better, but if they continue to put themselves in bad situations and if they continue to get down early and then have to throw into obvious passing situations, I don't know that it's going to look that much better. They have to play well to play well.
Have your expectations for where you thought the season would go for the Jaguars changed at all from where they were going into the season? I know they could have been affected by what's happened in the last couple of weeks, but comparing it to where you expected them to be going into the season, have your expectations for the season changed at all based on what you saw in the first 7 weeks?
Not a whole lot. I thought going in, they were a team that was probably 8 or 9 wins. And if they played well and stayed healthy and had things go right, they could push maybe to 10-7. When they beat the Chiefs and were 4-1, I said, okay, well, maybe get to 11-6, maybe really go. But I think in the first year of regime, you're going to have some losses where you really take it on the chin, which they did against the Rams. You're not going to be at the level that you hope to be in a couple of years because you're not everything's going to be going right and on the same page yet. Mm-hmm. So, again, I look at the back half of the schedule. Can they get 6-4? Yeah, I think they can get 6-4 and get 10-7 and be competing for this. I think to get above that would be beyond my expectations. Now, that's not the expectations for the people in the building. They think they're going to put together a run. They thought from day one that they're a team that should compete for the division. Right now, with the Colts at 7-1, it's going to take some doing to get them back to where they can compete for the division in the second half of the season. But I think they can compete for a wild card unless the Colts fall back a touch.
Demps asking the same kind of question with you. I know you had them as a 9-win team and thought that was going to be enough to compete for the division. Now, you thought it was going to be with Houston, when you went through game by game for both teams' schedules, and you came down with Jacksonville getting on a tiebreaker, right, at 9-8, but winning the division with that kind of record, right? So if that was where they were at with that, this is a team that we saw do what they did on Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. Right, and it's also a team that we've seen play the way that they played in the last couple weeks. Has anything you've seen in the first 7 games changed your level of expectations for the team overall from where you were going into the season to today? No, we're still having some issues with the connection. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Maybe he needs to borrow my headphones.
Now Johnny-O's cracking wise with the whole thing that's going on. We'll get reconnected with Mike here in just a few moments as he is dealing with some technical issues there on his end. Not exactly sure what's going on with that. We got Johnny-O with us for the next 45 minutes or so as we go through the second hour of the program. He joins us each Wednesday during the season here, so we will talk to the senior writer for Jaguars.com and get some of his takes on what's going on with this football team as they get set for this. Look, it's a 10-game season now, right? And it's all out in front of them. And as we've discussed here just in the last couple of moments, this does feel like a who are you kind of week, right?
No doubt.
If you're going to be a legit football team competing for a playoff spot in the National Football League, you better be a team that's good enough to beat the Raiders. Doesn't matter where you're playing them. This 2025 version of the Raiders, you ought to be able to beat that team if you're going to be a serious playoff contender.
Look, it's not. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but it's the kind of game you got to go win. And I said yesterday to somebody, and they kind of laughed. If you get the postseason, you're supposed to deserve it.
Yeah.
So you got to go win games that you're supposed to win. They've got 5 games that on paper you're supposed to go win. And then you need to get another one outside of that to get to 10-6, to get to 10-7. But this is certainly a game where not easy. They're not easy in the National Football League, but you're supposed to win this game.
Yeah. This is one that they absolutely have to win. We'll check back in with Dempsey when we get back here, as I think we got the technical issues there on that end resolved. I think at least it's clear going from here in that regard. Johnny Owen studio with us. Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you as well. As we continue along, we'll get you ready for this Raiders matchup. It does feel more and more crucial the more I think about it and talk about it as we get into the back 10 games of this schedule for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll continue to talk about that when we return. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Hayes Carline is our special agent. He goes into the locker room to uncover insights about your favorite football team. His mission is to bring it back to you on 1010XL. Special Ops support by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Awaken 180 weight loss.
Jaguars Today, Wednesday.
You don't need to bet everything on a Hail Mary. Just find a ride in your budget. Because Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. New name, new location, same great deals. And we have the perfect place during the Kia Fall Savings event, like a new Kia payment free for a full 90 days. Or take advantage of financing rates as low as 0%. It's always a touchdown when you shop the best deals in town. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
When someone excels in and out of the classroom, we should celebrate it.
That's why 1010XL brings you the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist's Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show, tuned up by
The Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass, and I think you deserve a spa-like shower, don't you? Get rid of that dirty, dated setup you have in your bathroom. Those old-style showers can be really ugly. Install a gorgeous frameless shower with thick, sexy glass and a free diamond coating protection that's easier to clean, like Rain-X for your shower. Your bathroom will feel like a luxury spa every morning and night. You deserve it. Visit my friends at leeandkatesglass.com.
You're gonna see a big difference.
Homeowner here. The best thing I ever did for my lawn is called topdressing.com. Nobody can do what they do. Nobody has their proprietary mix. The estimate is free, and they did my lawn in half a day. They have a special truck that looks like a transformer with Autobot aerators that punch my lawn like a golf course, spreading secret nutrients in my grass. I've never seen anything like it. Now is the best time so your lawn bounces back like never before when spring hits. 888-850-1850. Top dress your lawn like the pros with topdressing.com.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Yo, Jacksonville, Hickens Hype. Checkmate Coatings crushes it with floors I'd put in my own pad.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Rush to checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Oh no's.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
Tony Smith, Johnny O, Dylan Denmark, Mike Dempsey on location for the show here this morning. And how would you have answered the question? Have your expectations changed?
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
With you, first of all, Tony. I mean, they're 2 games ahead of where I had them.
Okay.
Right? But part of the calculus of where I had them was I thought they'd sweep the Colts this year. So I don't think you can necessarily count on that. Certainly you can't count on that with the Colts playing maybe the best football in the National Football League. This week is so important, man. You lose this game, it's going to have just a disastrous impact on expectations, the fan base, all that. You've got to find a way. This is a team that 2 of the last 3 weeks, taking the Tennessee game out, they've lost by a combined, 71-6. right? 31-0 against Kansas City, who the Jags beat. And I get it, Kansas City's getting better with Rashee Rice and all that, but you look at it, why can't, if the Jags beat the Raiders in Vegas, why can't they go to Houston and win that game? I know it's going to be tough, but Houston's banged up too. They already beat them once. You held them to 10 points. You get the Chargers coming out of that. I picked them to lose that game, and I picked them to win at Arizona and at Tennessee. So I see potentially 4 wins in the next 5 weeks on the schedule for this team. And if they can put themselves in that position and be, 8-4 going into the home stretch, absolutely. I think this team can get in. I told you the thing that changed the most for me, Tony, over the first part of the season is the belief that went from the Jags had to win the division to get in to now they can actually compete as a wild card. And so put yourself, win as many as you possibly can. Don't give up on the idea of the division because you still have a lot of control with a lot of division games left. But, just take them week by week. Go out there and beat the Raiders and then try to steal a game that I think a lot of people, when the schedule came out, would have had them losing at Houston in a couple weeks.
Sure. And I think, John, when you look at it and talking about how big this game feels this week, right, against the Raiders, at this point in the season, I don't think there's any such thing in reality as a must-win kind of game, but it does feel like as close to a must-win kind of game as a team like Jacksonville can play, right, at this point in the season, where you thought they were just going to turn into maybe just a good football team, a couple weeks ago, and then the last 2 weeks have happened with what happened against Seattle and what happened against the Rams. You've had the bye week now to get ready for this road trip against the Raiders. Houston on the road is the next week, and again, the back half of the schedule doesn't set up all that much more difficult than it looked like. The Colts are better than you thought they'd be, but that's really it, right, as far as how different it is than we thought it might be going into the season. So I do think this is are you a playoff team, caliber team, or aren't you? Right? And I think that's what this week against the Raiders is going to show you.
Yeah, and, if they lose to the Raiders, it's not like they can't become a playoff caliber team by going on a run. Right. We've seen a run, 3 years ago like that. But if they can't go out and beat the Raiders right now, then it's very easy to say, well, you lost 2 in a row, and now you've lost to a team that's 2-5 and not playing very well. It wasn't the fact that you were playing good teams the last couple of weeks. It's the fact that you're struggling. I think it was Mike who said, it's a tough get to go get the Houston game. It would be, to win 4 of the next 5 would be difficult because a lot of them are on the road. But if you're good, which I think at 4-5 we all thought they were, and I thought they were turning in, and I still think they are turning into a team that can go win those kind of games. They can play its kind of football and sort of punch its way into the playoffs. If that's the kind of team you are, then the next 2 games, especially Sunday, is the kind of game you ought to be able to win. And again, if you throw the Texans game in there, it's hard, but it's supposed to be hard to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of game you're supposed to go win. So the next 2, if you're good, are games that you're supposed to be able to go get.
You've seen in your time covering the NFL, including here in Jacksonville, but time with the Colts as well, you've seen those organizations have head coaches that you could feel it, right? Like they gave their team a chance year to year to be great, right? They had whatever it took to be an NFL head coach that created that kind of atmosphere within an organization and a franchise. Having seen those guys, the Coughlins, those types of coaches in action, how would you grade what you've seen so far from Liam Cohen through his first 7 games?
Yeah, very, very, very high. I mean, I don't know how this season specifically is going to play out because it's hard to predict game to game, week to week. But his ability, I thought before the season, I was pretty sure he was going to be a high-end offensive guy, play caller. All the resumes showed you that. What you don't know about a guy is how he's going to be in front of the room, how he's going to be day-to-day. Are players all going to buy in? Is he going to have a connection with players? Is he going to be able to message? All that stuff. I think he's as good as I've been around since Dungy. And Dungy's to me, he's the best coach I've ever covered in terms of that, probably along with Tom, right? But I think he's tracking to be that level guy. I I didn't know before the season, but it's hard to overemphasize how impressed I've been in the first 7 games with Liam.
Are you seeing the progress that you would expect to see specifically from Trevor Lawrence when it comes to trying to get this Liam Cohen offense installed to this point?
I think so. I mean, realistically, there's such a long way to go. He's not been as accurate at times as you'd like. There's still some of the football sense, instinct stuff that every once in a while he makes a decision. We're like, what was he doing? But I do think in terms of the question you're asking, is he grasping the offense? Is he getting a better feel for that? Everything I've heard is that he is. He seems more comfortable pre-snap. He seems to be getting them in and out of things correctly, which is sort of what, that to me is sort of how you gauge knowledge of the offense. I think he's coming along with that. When is it all going to come together? I don't know. I mean, it seems to be improving, but it also, I can't be disingenuous and say that there's not a long way to go on some fronts too.
Yeah, the bye week kind of gives you more oxygen to think about some of these kind of things, right? And some of the big picture questions that naturally come up when the team doesn't play a game for a week, right? You kind of go back into I get to take a breath and think some longer term things. And along those kind of lines, talking about Liam Cohen, the offense, where Trevor Lawrence is, and the install with all that kind of stuff right now, we've had 7 weeks now of a regular season to watch Trevor Lawrence playing in this offense. Mm-hmm. Do you think Trevor Lawrence is he any better or worse a fit for what Liam Cohen wants from the quarterback position based on anything you've seen through the first 7 weeks?
It's tough. I hadn't thought about it before you asked. I don't know. I mean, I think we're still seeing it play out, and I'm not trying to avoid the question. I just don't have a great answer. Mm-hmm. So he hasn't been dazzling in terms of fit, but I also think that there's a lot he's learning and trying to apply to feel good in it. I think the fact that it feels like he's developing mentally in it and starting to get it is encouraging. I wish I had a better answer. I don't know how great a fit he is, but I don't know that he's a bad fit. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be before the end of the season before we have a real feel for if he's going to flourish in this thing or not.
What would be the indications that he is taking the steps in the right direction within the offense?
Oh, I think it's you'll kind of see it. There'll be comfort. You'll have. Again, there was the play early on the other day. I say the other day in London, where first play of the game, he had Travis coming across the middle and said he just didn't throw it. Mm-hmm. Still felt like there's some hesitancy, some thinking. When you start playing where you're just playing loose and playing free, and I kind of hate saying that because that's such a cliche.
Yeah.
But when you start looking more natural in it, and he hasn't really reached that point this year where he's felt natural in it. And I don't know when that light comes on. I don't think the fact that it seems like it hasn't come on yet means that it won't. Mm-hmm. But I think, as terrible an answer is, I think you'll know it when you see it. Now, there'll be some people who won't want to accept it because I think there are some people who just think, oh, he's terrible. He's not going to be good in this. I don't think that's the case yet. But I don't think we've seen an incredible level of comfort yet, especially in the last 2 weeks. Now, some of that may be defensive lines, so there's so many factors. But I still think we're waiting to see it.
How, along those kind of lines, again, just keeping it on Trevor here for a moment, how different – he's been in a bunch of different offenses since he got into the league, but how different is this offense specifically just from a learning perspective than what he's had to deal with for – the previous few
my
years?
Understanding is it's a lot. I mean, just because there's so much pre-snap, it's such a concept where you're taking multiple plays to the line and making decisions based on what you're seeing, based on the pre-snap motion. Everybody's listening to this show has probably heard Liam talking about it a lot. There's so much that it's why they do the pre-snap stuff, so that they can see what the defense is going to be and then what play you're going to run off of that. that's a fairly significant change and fairly significant change in verbiage trying to apply into that change. So I don't think it's surprising that it's been a process. So I think it's a lot different. And I think that's been part of, I've got to think that's a little bit of why it still feels like there's, I'm going to call it residual thinking after the snap. You think so much before the snap that you're still trying to make sure you're doing the right thing. You're still trying to make sure you're not making a mistake. So, you know, a long version to ask what probably should have been a shorter answer. I think it's a lot, and I still think he's processing through that.
We'll get back to specifically the Jags in just a moment, but real quickly, let's take a look at around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The New Orleans Saints have announced that their second-round pick, Tyler Shuck, will get his first start for them this week against the Los Angeles Rams. Kansas City is calling running back Isaiah Pacheco week to week after he suffered an MCL sprain on Monday night. Washington expects quarterback Jaden Daniels to be able to return to practice for them today and said that wide receiver Terry McLaurin re-aggravated the quad injury that had been keeping him sidelined on Monday Night Football. They didn't offer any further update on his status beyond that yesterday when asked about it. New England has signed cornerback Marcus Jones, also a punt returner for them, to a 3-year contract extension with $36 million in new money there for Jones. We'll get back into the Jaguars and what this last 10 games is going to look like. I do want to ask you the question that we had for the question of the day on Monday when we returned, John. Got into it early in the show with Dempsey this morning as well. What 5 players have played the best for the Jags through the first 7 games of the season? We'll get your answer to that when we return as we continue along. John Ozier here with us, Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, and Dylan Denmark. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. When the Dogs and Gators cross the bridge, the world's largest cocktail party becomes a fight on the first coast.
There's something special about the game being in Jacksonville. The stadium split right down the middle.
Will the Gators bring the swamp to the 904? Or will the Dogs hedge another victory? It's the chump of the swamp and the bark of the dogs. Florida and Georgia, Saturday at 3:30 on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
Gators are on the other side of their second and final bye week of the season as interim head coach Billy Gonzalez will lead the team against Georgia this weekend in one of the greatest rivalry games in all of college football, right here at Everbank Stadium this Saturday at 3:30 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
October is one of the best sporting months of the year, and no better way to enjoy it than getting in on the action. Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet. If you want to see what everyone else is betting on, like top picks or parlays across any sport, you need to check out the Hard Rock Bet Discover page, and you can see trending picks and parlays at any time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Download the Hard Rock Bet app now. It's got everything. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosper here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights. Nope, Kuhn Flowers will take care of all of it for you this fall when you schedule their holiday home decorating team. This is Frank Frangie with 1010XL, and now's a good time to call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Maybe an indication of what, I don't think Trayvon Walker's going to get this kind of deal necessarily, but it sounds like Aiden Hutchinson and Detroit are getting their deal done for the extension. The Adam Schefter reporting 4 years, $180 million with 180 or 41 million guaranteed for Aiden Hutchinson. So we'll see. I don't think Trayvon's getting that right now. He's obviously, I think, at this point going to play out this year, and then we'll see what happens going into next season for Trayvon Walker, especially dealing with the injury right now. But when you look at where Trayvon is and how important he is, right, and I think the lack of pass rush the last couple of weeks kind of gives you an indication of it, right? Like him playing with one hand is enough for the pass rush to basically disappear.
Sure.
Right? That's not a great place for the organization to be.
No.
When you have a guy that should be playing a more impactful kind of football than he is in Josh Hines Allen on the other side. But it is what it is for the last couple of weeks. Like, where do you feel like just that aspect of the team is right now going through 7 games?
Oh, pass rush?
Yeah.
You know, I think it hasn't been as good as you'd like. I think a lot of it is Trayvon playing with one hand. It felt early when he was healthy like overall they were getting the disruption and some game wreckage as a unit. I think a lot of because of his power and the fact that teams had to pay so much attention to him. That's felt like it's fallen off. And I think in the last couple of weeks, a lot of it's fallen off. The first 4 games, they led all but 9 minutes. Mm-hmm. The second, or the last 2 games for the bye, they've only led for 7 minutes. So when you don't lead and you're not I wouldn't call this a great pass rushing team even with the lead. It can be good if Trayvon's healthy. But when you don't lead and you don't have a great pass rusher or a great pass rush, then it's really hard to get pressure. So I think if they can get back to getting a lead and pass rush in situations where they want to be pass rushing, then I think they'll be better. But if they're trailing, I'm not sure this team can rush the passer very well.
How would you – I asked you going into the break, the top 5 right now through the first 7 games for the Jaguars.
Well, when healthy, I would put Devin Lloyd, Trayvon Walker, Brenton Strange, ETN, and that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Hines Allen. I mean, since Trayvon's been hurt, he has not gotten as much disruption. But early on, I'd put those 4 players there, probably with an apology to Jordan Lewis, who early on played very well and has had some plays lately where that he'd want back. So I think those 5, if you take health, like if you assumed they were all healthy, I would say those 5.
Mm-hmm. And as Dempsey asked me when we were going through that list early on in the show this morning, he was going through his 5, and he asked me, well, who would you have as the top offensive lineman? So who would you have as the top offensive lineman?
I'd probably say Ezra because he was playing really well early. Anton Harrison also played well. So hard to distinguish between those 2. I'll say Anton. Because for the most part, I think he played well.
Okay. And he's like just a nod to Ezra in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that one has all that much outplayed the other, but I'll go with Anton because it's better to have one guy and an answer than 2.
I know we were discussing during the break. I asked you about who do you expect to be the leading receiver for the team for the rest of the season, the final 10 games between Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. How do you expect the team to use Travis Hunter for the final 10 games of the season?
I think that's going to be fascinating to watch. I think you've got to think that they felt like they saw something in the second half against LA. And that I think ideally you would love to have a game on Sunday where Brian Thomas Jr. looks like Brian Thomas Jr. from last year. And they come back and say, hey, let's go. You know, we're going to go with what we wanted to go into the season. But I don't think based on the first 7 games with the drops and with the stuff across the middle, I think you've got to adjust out of that. And it's hard to have him be the go-to option that you felt like he was early in the season or was supposed to be. So now the question becomes, if that's Travis, which I think there's a good chance it will be moving forward, he really right now only knows one position, that slot that he's been working at. So how does it look if they want to have him be, quote, the guy or have the offense go through him? How's that going to look? There are ways to do it, but not having seen it, I think it's going to be a very interesting storyline to watch, just how that, if that's what they want to do, how that's going to play out.
We've been kicking around the question, what is the identity for this 2025 version of the Jags for a couple weeks now, and it's hard to find a definite answer right now, but trying to get to what they want it to be or what it could be. And I'm trying to find the questions that kind of help us get there.
I think what they want it to be, they want to be physical. I think when they felt like they were the most physical team on the field, which was probably the first 5 games, they were 4-1. I don't think you can make an argument that they're the most physical team on the field in the last 2 games because the Seahawks, that's what they do. That's why they're really good.
Right.
So I think being physical, and I'm going to sound like a cliche coach here, but being physical and not hurting themselves so much, being mentally tough, which is probably what you're talking about with the penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I think being tough and physical is what this team wanted to be. I think they felt like they were. I don't think it's a coincidence that Trayvon playing with one hand and Brenton being out has led to them not being the most physical team on the field.
Right.
I think those 2 guys are sort of the identity of the team when they're going right.
What do you think they do best on offense right now?
Right now?
Right now.
They didn't do much. I throw the ball to Travis Hunter against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be smart about it, but that's what they did well. I think ideally what they would like to be is a team that can run, can be balanced, can run well early. I'm not sure that it's a league anymore where you can just come out and I'm going to run and that's all you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But to run better than they have and then to be able to throw it to Travis and have him make big plays, I think that's their best path to being good offensively, and hope that Brian Thomas Jr. can be Brian Thomas Jr. at some point.
Do you think, in that kind of regard with the Travis Hunter thing, and it does sound like the expectation is for the role to expand, right? For him to look a lot more like it did against the Rams as far as his usage, at least, as they get into the back half of the schedule here. Are they a team that you think is built to do what you just mentioned there, where Is the offensive line going to be good enough that they can control games?
If they stay out of bad situations.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think you can come out 1st and 10 if you get a 6-yard run. I mean, if you get a 4-yard run on 1st and 10 and you look over and you see a flag and they're walking backward because of an illegal shift, and then you're 1st and 15, then I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball if they do that. But if they get 2nd and 6, mix a pass in, get to the 1st and 10 again, pass first and then run. I think they can certainly run more balanced than they have because they showed the first 4 or 5 weeks that they could do that. Again, was the reason they couldn't do that the last couple of weeks because the defensive lines they were playing were very good? Some of it was that. A lot of it was all of a sudden against the Rams, first 3 drives, you were looking at double digits, over 10 yards, somewhere in those first 3 drives. They won't be able to run if they do that.
Mm-hmm. Aiden Hutchinson gets the big money, and I'm sure that'll be one of the big stories across the NFL today is Aiden getting what he's getting. That guy plays at a defensive MVP level when he's healthy enough to play.
That's a lot of money.
For Aiden Hutchinson. So good for him and for all the Aiden versus Trayvon discussion that anyone wants to have. None of that's going to end with that guy getting that deal at this point in his career and the kind of impact that he's had. Trayvon, get healthy, man.
Mm-hmm.
They need you. They need you bad up front along that defensive line. We'll put a bow on this edition of Jaguars Today when we return. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010 XL.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Guys, don't suffer through this season with prostate, bladder, or kidney issues. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations with advanced urological care to improve your health and vitality. Visit ackermanurology.com.
It's holiday season and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Hey folks, this is Denny Thompson, and when it comes to protecting my home, I turn to Tyson, the leaders in state-of-the-art home security right here in Jacksonville. Their AI cameras and smart doorbells are top-notch, keeping an eye on what matters most. Whether you're moving in or upgrading, Tyson offers flexible packages, rent or own, with specials on the first 3 years. Ramp up now for the holidays, the perfect gift for you or someone you love. Call Tyson today at 590-7979 for details.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what Wonderworld wants you to do. Wonderworld knows there are other window companies out there.
But we also know those other guys. When compared to Window World, they can't offer you the quality at the price that Window World can.
And with Window World, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, Window World and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with Window World, and to top it off, Window World windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with Window World. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Tired of roofers who never answer the phone and just use AI?
I'm Morgan Conley, the People's Roofer. I answer every call. No robots, no runaround. I'm born here, built here, staying here. Visit morganconleyroofing.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Oh noes.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
Well, it's pretty clear the Detroit Lions are spending like they think they're in a championship window. My goodness, 4 years, $180 million for Aiden Hutchinson. Is there a position on that roster, Dempsey, that they're not spending the big money on the second or third contract at this point?
No, I saw somebody post, apparently you can pay a quarterback, a running back, 2 receivers, because Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams both got paid, 2 offensive tackles, now a defensive end, a corner, and a safety at or near the top of the market, and still somehow be able to operate on a day-to-day basis. And that, look, I quite frank, I know probably Jaguar fans are tired of hearing about Aiden Hutchinson. It was a catastrophic whiff by Trent Baalke. There's no defensive end I'd rather have in the league when you factor in age and productivity than Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, the guy is absolutely phenomenal. And, he impacts you in the passing game. He's got 4 interceptions in his career, Tone. Never mind pass breakups. 4 interceptions. He's a sack machine. And he does have the advantage of playing on a team that plays with a lot of leads. But if you're going to pay anybody that kind of money, he's deserving.
He's a guy that, we don't get to watch Detroit snap for snap, every week. We're watching the Jags snap for snap and really nobody else in the league. But Detroit plays enough primetime games that we get to see it.
See him a lot.
Right? And so when you watch the Lions in primetime, he flashes constantly. Like throughout the game, Aiden is making plays.
A good play.
Right? Yeah. For the Detroit Lions. Trayvon's a good player. Mm-hmm. He's not Aiden.
No.
And it's fine to accept both of those things to be true. It doesn't mean that Trayvon's not going to be worth a second contract here in Jacksonville. I think he is. I don't know what exactly that number is going to wind up being. We talked about it a little bit in the offseason. But, look, Aiden is a special player. I think Trayvon is a specially gifted physical player, right, that everything hadn't been tied together yet to this point in his career. Hopefully he gets healthy enough to make that kind of impact for the football team. But big money for Aiden Hutchinson, no doubt about it.
Big stuff.
No doubt about it. What do you expect this week to look like with the Jags taking on the Raiders?
Again, I said at the top, I think it's going to be – I think people thinking that it's going to be a blowout because the Raiders got blown out the last time. That's usually not how it works. I would expect the Raiders be 2-5 with a new coach. They will not have quit. They will not be a team that's mailing it in at this point. You're going on the road. They're getting Bowers back. I expect it to be tight late. I expect the Jaguars to win, but I expect it to be something that's decided in the last 6 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm. We'll wrap it up with you here in just a moment, John. But first, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Matt Hayes joining us for the show. What's going on, Matty?
What's going on, fellas?
If the mic gets turned on there. Dylan's got it now.
What's up, fellas?
We've had mic issues today.
There we go.
From all parts of the globe. What do you got coming up today on Primetime?
We're talking a little Jags. We're talking some college football. We got Eddie O coming up at 1:15. Go Tigers. So he'll talk about that LSU job, and he wants to get back into coaching. We'll talk to him about it. If he's,
Why isn't he still the coach at LSU?
Because that's a unique place there. That's really the best. It's really the best way to say it.
Eddie O's a unique guy. It seems like that marriage would work.
Yeah, it didn't. That's kind of the best way. As my buddy John Osh used to always say to me, I reached and it didn't reach back, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be listening. I'm not going to demand any Vanderbilt love. We get enough. Like I
We'll
don't
give you a
demand
little. Trust
any
me,
of it.
we will.
All right, Diego Pavia season, baby.
They're a good squad, the Doors.
Yeah, especially if they roll into Austin and beat Texas. Then it's going to be serious after that.
Yeah, like, don't tease me with that kind of thing, with the possibilities for Vanderbilt football. All right, Maddie, we'll be listening.
All right, boys.
XL Primetime coming up next. What do you got coming up throughout the rest of the week, Johnny?
I'm supposed to get Foye Oluokun on the Ozone podcast this week. I'm looking forward to that. And we'll have Bucky Brooks on the Huddle Up podcast breaking down Jaguars Raiders. And again, we talked about it the whole show. I'm looking forward to this week. I think it will tell something about this team. If they go out there and win this, come back 5-3, then I think you're on the right track.
All right, Dempsey back with us tomorrow, correct?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Hope you choke on your breakfast.
Dempsey is bringing a breakfast for us tomorrow for the Breakfast Bowl. We'll pay that off tomorrow on the program. Mike DeRocco will be in with us. XL Primetime coming up next with Joe Coward, Leon Searcy, and Matt Hayes. That'll do it for us today. D-Rock in tomorrow for John Osher, for Dylan Denmark, for Mike Dempsey. I'm Fat Tony. XL Primetime coming up next on 1010 XL.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. He's our big hitter.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Tom McMahon.